Dr. T here, and this episode we're answering the question, how does Social Security work and how can we fix it? So first of all, what is Social Security? Well, it was enacted by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt during the Great Depression as part of his New Deal. And this particular piece of legislation passed in 1935. And it was pitched to the American public as an insurance program. You would pay into it a little bit every time you got a paycheck. And then at the end of your life, when you reach retirement age, you would draw from that money, that pile of money essentially that you had created, and that would be what you would live on in your retirement. Now, retirement age was set at 65. That's where we get this idea that's the retirement age, is from Social Security. Now, little known fact for you, the reason that the retirement age was set at 65 is that in 1935, that was life expectancy. So what that means is when Social Security was built, the people who wrote the law expected half the people to be dead before they would ever draw any money from it. Social Security is different in terms of the income programs that we have at the federal level. Most of those are what we call means tested. And that just means that you have to be below a certain income level in order to get access to these programs. So for what we call food stamps, the SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, Medicaid, those programs are limited to people at a certain income level, below a certain income level. Here, with Social Security, you get paid based on what you put in, what you earned over your lifetime. So anybody who's earned money and paid into it can draw on it in their retirement. There are limits on the amount of income that you can earn with the benefits, though. So if you decide to take Social Security, you can't earn more than $18,960. That's the rate right now. If you do, after that threshold, for every $2 you earn, you will lose $1 in your Social Security benefits. So there's not a lot of incentive to work on a large scale once you start taking these benefits. So why is Social Security in trouble? A lot of young people right now are saying, oh no, there's not going to be Social Security for me when I'm an older person. Why should I even care about it? I just want to tell you that when I was a young person in the 70s, we said the exact same thing. There will be no Social Security when we get to be retirement age. We might as well just wash our hands of it right now. It's still here, and it's still paying out to people. But it is in trouble. It is having a difficult time staying solvent. And the big reason for that is shifts we've seen in our population in the United States. First of all, 65 is no longer life expectancy. People are living longer. We also have a large number of the baby boomers coming in, those who were born after World War II up until about 1964. That's usually considered the end of the baby boom. Those folks have moved into retirement age. And so there's a huge number of people drawing on Social Security with a smaller number of people working because birth rates have fallen since the baby boom ended in the 60s. So we have had those shifts. It means we have more older people that we are supporting for a longer period of time. So the requirements for Social Security have been shifted to try to reflect this. So the age is being raised. Right now it's about, depending on when you were born, full retirement benefits will accrue to you at 67-ish, right? 67 and 3 months, I think is what mine is. Because we're trying to say, okay, you can live, we're living longer, we can work a little longer. Yes and no, right? My former job as a college professor, I could work past 70. I have colleagues who are still there now who are in their 70s. There is, there's some risk to one's health in terms of eye strain with all the computer work. When I was spending a lot of time at a keyboard, I was having some carpal tunnel issues, a lot of pain, discomfort in my wrists and my forearms from kind of repetitive stress, right? It's a repetitive stress injury. Those aren't necessarily hugely serious health problems, but it is a risk for that work. There are other people who are doing jobs that are far more taxing physically. And to expect them to do those jobs till 67 or maybe even 70, if that's the direction that we're going, or maybe even past 65 or 62, which is now the earliest age at which you can get benefits. You can start at 62. You will receive lower benefits over the course of your lifetime, though. However, if you live a very long life, you'll make up that difference between taking it at 62 versus taking it at 67. But for some people, working into their 60s is difficult to do because of the difficult physical labor that they engage in their jobs. So the fix. A lot of our problems have very complex sources, and there are lots of different solutions that have been floated around. What they're trying to do now by extending the age at retirement, and this current administration is going to come after the benefits too. It's going to want to reduce benefits as a way to save costs. There's actually a much simpler and very fair way to solve Social Security's problem. So right now, you are taxed on your income at a rate of 12.4%. Half of that is paid by your employer. So you're paying 6.2% of your income every payday, and it goes to Social Security for when you retire. But that only happens up to $176,100 of income. So for anybody who makes less than that, which is most of us in the United States, we are being taxed on our whole income. For people who make more than that, and there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who make more than that, they are not being taxed beyond the $176,000. If we raise the Social Security tax, and by raise the tax, I mean not that most people who make under 176 would pay more, but that people who make more than 176,000 would actually pay that 6.2% on all of their income, this would make Social Security solvent overnight. Some things really are that easy to fix. We just have to all agree on what the problem is and what the solution can be. We need that political consensus.